Well, we're giving new meaning to Born to Run and perhaps getting rid of the baby fat. Instead of parents plopping their kids down in front of SpongeBob, they're now buying sports DVDs for babies, some as young as 6 months old. Our next guest says it's never too early to start on sports-like activity, even before kids start walking. Joining us this morning is sports educator Doreen Bullheis. She's also the creator of some DVDs on how to teach physical skills to kids and babies, for as well as all the way up to elementary students. Doreen, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here.
So we saw the video of the little baby, probably about 6 months old, getting rolled around on one of the exercise balls. What is the benefit of starting very early with getting kids involved in exercise?
Well, it helps babies and toddlers and young children to develop the full range of movement ability and to explore all of the ways that their body can move. That gives them an advantage in brain development and also helps them to have joy in movement, to have positive emotional associations with movement, and also to develop skill, which will encourage them to keep moving throughout their lives. And it gives them a hedge against obesity.
What is the age that you start in terms of how many months old before they can start doing this type of stuff?
Our DVDs start at 6 months. That's really when children begin to explore movement in their world. They start to crawl. They're rolling over by then. So they're already beginning on their own to try to find out how their bodies can move. So we enhance that and help them in the learning process.
And the CDC says, you know, the number of obese children has more than tripled over the last 30 years. You're obviously very fit. Your father actually started you being active at a very early age as well. Do you think that starting kids in sports earlier actually prevents obesity down the road?
Unquestionably. I work with thousands of children every year. We don't have any obese children in our facility because they are active not only during the time that they're there, and most children come once a week for an hour, but they take those skills and abilities and they're moving all day long every day because of their enhanced movement ability. So we know that that's 50% of the equation in terms of preventing obesity. Of course, the other is nutrition. So we need to maximize movement capability because we like to do things that we're good at. So when we help children become good at movement, they're more likely to move every day and engage in it.
What about people who say we're just pushing babies too hard? I mean, they're babies. Let them be babies.
Well, certainly you can push babies too hard. There's no question about that. It needs to be done very carefully, and we need to respect when children are tired of movement, then we need to give them a rest. So, there's a delicate balance with that, certainly. I'm not talking about repetitive movement, about rigorous training, about early sports specialization. This is exploring and teaching children how to move well.
Right. You mentioned that about starting early with specialized sports because one orthopedic surgeon is quoted in the New York Times as saying there's really not any evidence that this helps and that it can cause younger kids to get hurt. One of the examples is, you know, a little leaguer who may blow out their arm pitching. What do you say to that?
I absolutely agree with that. Early childhood should be about movement exploration. I have 8 categories in our DVDs of movement, different kinds of movement that we explore with children. But children should not be engaged in repetitive training because then you do have overuse injuries, and it's not necessary. When they develop their full range of abilities, they'll decide later in life, middle school and beyond, how they want to use those abilities.
Gotcha. Well, certainly childhood obesity is a huge problem, and we know that moving is good when it comes to combating it. Doreen Bullheis this morning, a fitness coach training the babies and toddlers with your DVDs. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
You know, it's kind of, everything old is new again. Your kids move around a lot?
Yeah. They were going crazy because it's been raining for the past few days, so we haven't been able to get them out of the house. They were at their little JW Tumbles gym yesterday, and the kids were just running around like lunatics, but they need it.
So many kids these days, this is their exercise.
I know.
And you got to get them out. Let them go.